Well, hello there, upper primary, and welcome to our second performing arts lesson of this year, where we have been, of course, starting to look at musical theatre in more depth, and we chose Mary Poppins as our musical for this half term. So I hope you're back into the swing of things, you enjoyed Tuesday's lesson, and here we go with a little bit more of our singing, acting and dancing that we covered. But first, let's get warm. Make sure you have enough space before we continue. Your hair is tied back off your face if you have long hair. You've got your comfortable clothes on and you've got some water nearby. And let's get warm. Let's start with our first movements to help with our vocal warm-up. So we're going to move our body first. And I know you're thinking, that's not a vocal warm-up, but it just loosens the body because we need to involve all the body when we sing. So let's start with some gentle shoulder rolls back. We'll do a proper dance warm-up in a moment too as well. And some shoulder rolls forward. Very nice. And we will just swing our head from side to wake the neck up, because of course this is where all our vocal cords are, all the way around and the other way. And hopefully you have your feet planted on the ground and they're nice and solid to help us stay grounded when we sing, but we need to loosen the knees up a little bit, so we'll just bend and stretch the knees. Lovely jubbly. All right, so now we're going to think about the mouth and how we're going to warm that up. And we're going to start with a big fake yawn that leads into a sigh. So let me show you first. It's going to go. So we're opening the mouth as big as we can, and I'm sure grown-ups have told you, put your hand over your mouth when you yawn. But we're not really yawning, are we? We're doing like a fake yawn to warm ourselves up, so don't even worry about it. Ready? So join me with this yawn. We go. And into a nice smiley sigh. Try that one more time. Now we're ready to start making some sounds. A siren is just like the sound you hear if you were to see a fire engine or an ambulance or a police car moving quickly down the road to get to an emergency. That's the sound of the siren, and we are going to be making that sound with our voices. So we're going to keep our lips close together, and we're going to start with a low sound. It slides up to a high sound and comes back down to the bottom again. So have a little listen to our example. Okay, would you like to try it with me? So starting low, high and back down again. 1, 2, 3. Got it? Should we have another go? 1, 2, 3. Okay, I can feel my head going up and down at the same time. Right, I'm going to try with a hand this time. So, for what we just did, my hand would go. Yeah, so you are going to have to follow the hand. If it's low, it's the lowest sound. Highest is up here. And let's see if you can follow the hand, okay? I'll do the first couple with you, then you do it on your own. So we go. Okay, let's try again. Okay, now I'm not going to make the sound and it's down to you. Are we ready? Here we go. Did you get that last one? Well done. Scales are when we go up and down in pitch to stretch the notes that we can sing and how high and low we can sing. So we have a little piano on the screen here that's going to show us which notes it's playing, and you'll be able to see it going up and down. So to get us started, let's just try with a la first before we make it any more complicated. Let's have a listen. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Get the idea? Okay, so my feet were nice and grounded as we talked about in the warm-up. We're breathing from down in our tummies. Try not to raise those shoulders. Big breath from the tummy. You can almost, if you want to put your hands here, you should feel your ribs expanding and getting bigger as you take that nice big breath from down here. And we're opening our mouth because we've practiced our yawns and our sighs, and that's what will help to get those notes. Okay, so we've tried some la's. Let's try 1, 2, 5. So it goes up and back down. So you're going to have to count forwards and backwards. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, up and back down. When you can see the yellow going up, that's when we're going up in the numbers. Back down when it goes back down. Let's have a try. We'll keep it there so we keep singing higher. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, it's getting higher. Can you feel it? I'm going to make it more complicated. Let's try this time letters. So have a little think to yourself. What are the first 5 letters in the alphabet? How far are we going to need to go here? Do you get it? A, B, C, D, E. So we're going to go up to E, and then we're going to have to do the alphabet backwards. A, B, C, D, E, D, C, B, A. Should we give it a try? And it's going higher as well. Mrs. Bates, what are you doing? Let's have a try. A, B, C, D, E, D, C, B, A. A, B, C, D, E, D, C, B, A. One more. A, B, C, D, E, D, C, B, A. Lovely. Well done, everyone. Good for the brain and the voice. All right, let's get warm. We'll start with a couple of big deep breaths in, so feet out to a jazz second, nice and grounded.
And every task you undertake becomes a piece of cake.
Let's give it another one.
As free, it's very clear to see.
All right, we're going to start with a step tap. Side to side. Nice and light swinging arms. Let's get the arms higher. All right, let's do a little run. Pretend you're whistling. Okay, 2 to the side. On the side. We're going to do open, 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 in, jump, clap, clap. Try them again. 2 and 2. Out, out, in. Jump, clap, clap. One more. Out, out, in. We're going to run. Good.
Enough is as good as a feast. Come along, please.
And shoulders. Take them back and forward. Alright, let's get the arm nice and wide. Other way, forward. Let's do our heads quick. So side, 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 side. Up, up, down, down, and circle. Woo. We're going to try this little sequence again. Out, out, in, jump, clap, clap. And again, 2 and 2. Out, out, in, jump, clap, clap. Once more, but no claps. Out, out, in, run. Step down. Nice and light. We'll get those arms involved. Here we go. Nice and strong. Run forward for me, 8. Kick your bum. Bam! You did it! Mr. Chop's sweet shop is where we pretend we go into a sweet shop. Remember those days when we didn't have to wear masks. Oh, the good old days. Well, we are going to pretend we go into a sweet shop. And Mr. Chop gives us different types of sweets. And we show all over our face how we're eating those sweets. So, the first sweet you get from Mr. Chop is a gobstopper. Put your gobstopper in. Excellent. Move that mouth around. Your gobstopper is huge. Use all your cheeks. You have to keep sucking the flavour off until it gets smaller and smaller so you're able to eat it. Use all that face. Has it got smaller yet? Oh, when you're ready, give it a big gulp down. Oh, the gobstopper's gone. Right, Mr. Chop, what have you got for us next then? The next sweet we get from Mr. Chop is really, really sour. Oh my goodness, it's all in your mouth. It's hitting the roof of your mouth. Your tongue is sizzling. Oh my goodness, keep chewing it to hope it'll go away. Oh, okay. Sour sweet's gone. I'm not sure I'm going to trust Mr. Chop with another sweet. Should we give him a try? Give him a chance. All right, let's get our final sweet of Mr. Chop. Let's see what it is. It's delicious. Show me with your face. A delicious sweet. It's in your eyes and your eyebrows. You're almost smiling at the same time as chewing. You don't want it to end. And it's all gone. Tongue twisters are a series of words joined together that are often quite difficult to say, perhaps because they sound very similar or they start with the same letter. They're excellent for the memory and also really clearing up your diction, which is how clear you are when you talk, which of course leads to when you sing. So I've got a couple of tongue twisters for you. There is an easier one which we'll start with and then we'll move on to a more difficult one. If you can see that, it says, my mom made me wash my M&Ms. So it's lots and lots of sounds. So we'll start by just saying nice and clearly, my mom made me wash my M&Ms. My mom made me wash my M&Ms. And then the trick is to get faster and faster. Let's try as quick as we can. Ready? 1, 2, 3. My mum made me wash my M&Ms. 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 I wasn't too bad at that, but I was running out of breath. I hope you did well on that. Are we ready to move to a more complicated one? This is a proper cup of coffee from a proper coffee pot. So this is a little different because they don't all start with the same letters, but there's some really similar sounds there and we have to change up the mouth shape as we say it. So say it with me. A proper cup of coffee from a proper coffee pot. Got it? A little bit quicker. A proper cup of coffee from a proper coffee pot. I think that might be Mrs. Bates's limit. Should we try it again? 1, 2, 3. A proper cup of coffee from a proper coffee pot. And shall we try and do this faster and see if we get better as the weeks go by? Ready, and a proper cup of coffee from a proper coffee pot. A proper cup of coffee from a proper coffee pot. A proper cup of coffee from a proper coffee pot. A proper cup of coffee from a proper it's gone. Okay, my limit at the moment is 3.5. Let's see if it gets any better. Okay, everyone. So hopefully you remember what we covered on Tuesday with our song, and we really looked at pronouncing these words first of all. So supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Has everyone been walking around saying that for the last couple of days, trying to get it in? Okay, good. And then we covered the verse. So So let's do the verse a couple of times. No, it wasn't the verse. What are you talking about, Miss Bates? It was the chorus. Let's try the chorus a couple of times first for our memories. And then we're going to just add a tiny bit more on today, which is really about using the cheeks and the mouth we're going to look at. All right, so let's have a try first of what we had. Don't forget they help us with the its. E. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious, if you say it loud enough, you'll always sound precocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Yes. Do you remember that? Let's try one more time for the old memories. E. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious, if you say it loud enough, you'll always sound precocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Good. Okay, and it's nice and chirpy, isn't it? And remember, it's going to get faster as the song goes on. Now, we didn't really look at yesterday, but it's worth thinking about which character you would like to portray as you're singing this. So what would be quite nice is once we've learned the full song and the full dance, and we've really looked at some characterization, it would be nice if you guys could send me some videos in of your full performances so I can see what they're looking like at home. Not yet, of course. We're not at that stage, so do not stress. And as always, it isn't compulsory, so don't worry if you don't feel confident enough to. But you might want to start thinking about what character. So when you watched the video of Super Cali yesterday and you saw it on the West End, did you see the way Mary Poppins was pronouncing it? So she speaks a lot better than me. I don't know if anyone's noticed, it's a secret, but I'm from the north of England. So sometimes my accent comes out and it doesn't sound like Mary Poppins. It doesn't sound like Bert either. But as we're actors, we need to try and speak like that. So she does a bit of a supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Yeah, I would never speak like that normally, but that's Mary's character. Even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious. So you might have to really think about how you're pronouncing if you are being Mary when you perform this. Of course, if you're Bert, it's a different accent altogether, and we are going to look at that at some point. But it wouldn't be quite as posh. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious. That is like very, very terrible Cockney accent. So if you get a chance to watch the movie, and maybe we'll watch some clips in our lessons, you would need to think about how you're pronouncing it. So I'll try and pronounce it as Mary a little bit more, because that is who sings this part for now. But just have a think about that. Let's try it one more time, thinking about our accent, and we'll add a little bit more on. Takes a little bit of getting used to. So channel your Mary or your Bert. Ready? Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious, if you say it loud enough, you'll always sound precocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Yeah, it feels totally different, doesn't it? Okay, so the next little bit that we're going to look at today is literally just that. That 4 times. Can you remember why it might be coming up in pink and why it might be coming up in blue at the same time? Have a moment to think. You can kind of see a little bit of the writing. That might be a bit of a clue underneath. I'm sure you got it, but if you didn't and need a little recap, this tells us on the video that it's 2 people singing at the same time. So they've been very stereotypical with their colours. And when it comes up in pink, it tends to mean Mary or another female is singing that part of the song. If it comes up in blue, it tends to mean that Bert or a male is singing that part of the song. So of course, if they both come up at the same time, that means they're singing together. So this is a female and male part. And the reason it says Dick Van Dyke very faintly underneath that bit is because that is the name of the actor who played Bert in the original movie. So that's saying this is Dick Van Dyke's part. So if you are being Bert, you would sing that part. Okay? So it goes. This is where all our facey warm-up things come in handy. Diddle 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 I. Diddle 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 I. It's kind of like a tongue twister in itself. Couple of hints to help you with this. Smiling opens up the cheeks and helps you to pronunciate better. Diddle 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 I. Diddle 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 I. The diddle 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 is tricky, so keep the mouth quite small to get those diddles in. Try it with me. 1, 2, 3, and diddle 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 I. Diddle 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 I. Yes. It's that 4 times, so it sounds simple, but it's quick. Diddle 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 I. Diddle 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 I. So what might end up happening is we might knock off these first D's and it becomes diddle 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 instead of diddle diddle diddle. Diddle diddle diddle. Diddle 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 I. Diddle 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 I. If you can get all the D's in, you go for it. You do you, because that's impressive. But I think I'm going to go for the diddle 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 on this one. All right, let's try it 4 times without the music first and see if you can get all that in. And then we'll try with the music. Ready? Just from the diddle diddle. 5, 6, 7. Diddle 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 I. 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 What did you notice there? Give yourself a little bit of feedback. What happened? Okay, so I noticed my pronunciation was quite good, but my breathing, there isn't time for a breath. So that is a long time. So when we do our breathing exercises and we breathe in for 8 and out for 8, this is what's going to help us. We need to use all our stomach muscles and our rib cage and really open. We know it's coming because there isn't really time for a break. So after supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, you've got that much time to get the biggest breath you can. Try that. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. And you have to train yourself to get that breath in. Okay, let's just try the diddle diddle with the music and then we'll try it all together, okay? So I'll move it back a little bit so we get a bit of a helping hand. Here we go. Diddle 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 I. Diddle 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 I. Diddle 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 I. Diddle 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 I. How is that? Did you get them all in? Okay. Now the trick's going to be, can we do the whole thing? Let's have a try. From the tibbity, what we did yesterday, plus our diddle diddles. Don't forget to train yourself to get that breath in. And if we can get the accent going as well, we're laughing. Ready? Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious, if you say it loud enough, you'll always sound precocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Diddle 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 I. Diddle 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 I. Diddle 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 I. Diddle 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 I. That's tense, isn't it? That's a lot to think about. Did you see this guy, what we're going to do next week, comes straight in as well? Our breathing is going to be key to the success of this song. Let's try one more time for luck and then we'll leave it there for today. Ready? Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious, if you say it loud enough, you'll always sound precocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Diddle 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 I. 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 Well done, team. If that is super stressing you and then you've got to go into the next bit, what actually happens, I think, in the production is Mary sings it twice and then the chorus, which is everybody in the background, sings it twice. So we'll work on that next week, but we might need to get rid of, oh, that's my timer saying singing's finished, stop talking. We might need to get rid of the last diddle diddle to give us a chance for because I was afraid to speak when I was just a lad. And then we go into a different accent again. Wowzers. Let's leave that for next week. Have a little practice though in your own time if you get a chance. Great job, team. Okay folks, it's time for the dance section of our lesson, and of course we started to look at good old Step in Time on Tuesday, which I told you was the chimney sweep song mainly led by Bert. So it's very athletic and we're using a lot of the steps from the original movie's choreography, which is kind of cool, right? So let's have a recap of what we did and then we'll add a little bit more on today, okay? So it comes straight in, remember? We wait for the Bert up 3 times. So it goes bird up, bird up, bird up. And then we did what we call step of cat in English. Do you remember what it was called in French? I gave you the ballet term. Moment to think, sending vibes your way. Step of cat. The pas de chat. So it goes 1 knee up, other knee up, land. Up, 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 up. Remember? But we only do it twice. And we had our fists, which was our what? Word beginning with M? Motif. And they went up and down. So it went birdum, birdum, birdum. And when Bert sings step in time twice, we do that twice. Step in time, and then come on, something, step in time it was. So we pretended that we were calling all of the chimney sweeps. And we do arm, 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 arm. Remember? 1, 2, arm, 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 arm. And then we had the really tricky bit that's from the movie, which was bend the knees. 1 arm, other arm, up, legs, down. Then we shout, step in time. And we do it one more time. Knees, 1 arm, other arm, up, legs, down. And that was as far as we got. Let's try that with the music first for our brains before we add a little bit more on. All right, let's give it a go.
Stepping time,
There's only 2 then.
Mighty stepping time.
Knee, arm, hold, legs down. Step in time. Knee, arm, hold, legs down. Oh, I cheated you, didn't I? There was a missing. I must have pressed play slightly before. Should we try that one more time with a bit of a... Actually, it's doing what I told you it was going to do. Let's try that one more time. Oh!
Stepping time, step.
What? There was 3, wasn't there, yesterday? Yes. Right.
Stepping time, come on, mighty stepping time.
Knees, arm, pull, legs down, step in time.
Stepping time, stepping time.
How did I say? Okay, so then they all start singing. So we've called all our chimney sweeps in and it's time to start moving. So this is a little bit from the original choreo as well. So we've pulled blah, blah, blah. Right, we're going to do 3 walks forward and a heel dig. A heel dig, when I come forward I might go missing out the camera, I'm afraid. So I'll show you up here. It's literally just tapping your heel on the floor. Just dig it in. You don't put any weight on it because we're not going to put our toes down. You're just doing a heel, okay? So 3 walks forward and a heel. Walk, 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 heel. And then we do 4 back. Walk, 2, 3, 4. So 3, heel, 4. Now, our motif, and like we were talking about in drama on Tuesday, was the fisted hands and these elbows out, and this very much tells the audience about our social class, our gender, purely by the way that we walk. We're very, very different to the character of Mary at the moment, okay? So we need to pump these arms while we're doing our walk. It's all very Londoners, yeah? A really stereotypical view of how you would walk in those times if you were from London, okay? Now it's quick. Step in time, step in time, step in time, step in time. So we got step in time, step in time, step in time, step in time. Okay? 3 forward with the heel, 4 back. Let's add that much on from the beginning if I can get these 3 loops to work. Here we go!
Stepping time, come on, mighty stepping time.
Knee, time. Step in time. And walk. Got it? Right. And now I've gone back. I would just tap that because because we need to open the feet out. So I'd go walk, 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 heel, walk, 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 toe or a tap. Remember we went through that last year? Tap. Then we're going to open our feet out. We're going to and we're going to lift our toe up and down. Hopefully you can see that. Up and down. 4 of them. And our arms, our good old Cockney arms, are going cross, out, cross, out. And can you see I've leant my shoulder a little bit over this foot, so we're no longer facing straight forward. We've turned ourselves a little bit to the corner. Never need a reason, never need a rhyme. Yeah, but it's much quicker. Never need a reason, never need a rhyme. So cross, out, foot, 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 foot at the same time. Let's add that on. Can't talk. Let's add that on from the walks forward. Ready? 5, 6, 7, out. Step in time, step in time, step in time, step in time. Never need a reason, never need a rhyme. Yeah, a bit quicker. 5, 6, 7, out. Step in time, step in time, step in time, step in time. Never need a reason, never need a rhyme. Yes. And then we'll add a little bit more on. What time are we on? We're good. We're going to bend and stretch. Chin face aside. Bend and stretch. So 2. Our feet are turned out in a ballet posture. That is a ballet first, for anyone that doesn't know. So toes are out to the corner, heels are together. And we go knee, bend down, but it's not proper ballet because you would keep your bottom tucked in. We're going to lean forward with it because we're not ballerinas, we're chimney sweeps. Bend and stretch, turn, bend and stretch. Our arms are going to come down as if we're pulling something up. Up, down, up. Okay? So add that on from the walks, nice and slow. Step in time, step in heel, step in time, step and toe. Never need a reason, never need a rhyme. Step in time, you step in time. Okay? A bit quicker. 5, 6, 7, and step in time, step in time, step in time, step in time. Never need a reason, never need a rhyme. I can't sing. It's a bit much. Don't forget we don't have to sing it at the same time. It's just so you know where I'm up to. Shall we add that on from the beginning? And then there's only a tiny bit more. That's quite easy to do that we're going to add on today. Here we go.
Step in time, come on, buddy, step in time.
Step in time. Walk.
Step in time, step in time, step in time.
And toes. Get it? Crikey, that's fast, isn't it? Let's try that one more time. That is a bit much. We might not even. We'll try it one more. I might add the next bit on tomorrow because that's quite a lot, isn't it? All right, let's give it one more try then, team. Here we go.
Step in time, come on, buddy, step in time.
Please. Step in time. Walk.
Step in time, step in time, step in time.
Toe taps. Bend and stretch, bend and stretch.
Get the
It's going to be a long 8 minutes. It's not. We're going to do like 2.5 or something. But still, it's going to be exhausting, people. It's quick and it's furious. All right, guys. Well done. That is our dance for today. All right, team. So if you remember in our drama lesson on Tuesday, we really started to look at the differences between our 2 main characters, Ms. Mary Poppins and Mr. Bert. I don't know his surname. That's something I need to look at. Mr. Bert. Okay? And how we might stand if we are acting as those people for a photo shoot. So we thought that Ms. Mary Poppins was immaculate at all times. She had her perfect hair, her perfect makeup, her perfect pristine clothes. I did a bit of a character assassination on myself, but that was fine. To contrast between a teacher who's doing dancing and singing and running around and scraping her hair back, and Ms. Mary Poppins, who does not let her hair fall out of place. So you guys practice some stances, and then we looked at how Bert would be in contrast to that, how we could show that if we were playing Bert as a character. We looked at his cheeky chappy face, the way he was dressed, kind of always got a smile, a bit happy, a bit sort of looking on the bright side of life, but would of course act and move very, very differently to Ms. Mary Poppins. Because we might want to show that when we are performing our song and our dance. Because of course the dance, we're going to have to very much act like Bert, because Mary doesn't really take part in that. But the song is a combination of the two, and we might need to try and move between the two in very quick succession, so we need to practice that. So your challenge for today is, we were still shocked yesterday and we found some poses that might be suitable for Mary and some poses that might be suitable for Bert. But now, of course, we can't stand still on the stage. We need to move around. Let's just start walking around as we think about this. So we need to think about how Mary and Bert would walk, okay? So I would like you, for this section, okay, we've had a bit of a warm-up, we're a bit walking around, just get a bit bored of standing still, you know. I'd like you to think of 1 or 2 scenarios that Mary Poppins might find herself in, and 1 or 2 scenarios that Bert might find himself in, and then use this time to walk around the space pretending to be them and see how it feels to be different. So for example, I might think, okay, I'm Mary Poppins. I've been hired as a nanny for these children while Mr. and Mrs. Banks are super, super busy and they're out at work all day. Cool, okay? So some things that I might do is I might serve the children some lunch. So how would I act like Mary Poppins to walk into the front room and call Michael and Jane into the kitchen for lunch and put their lunch down? Think about how she would move, how she would walk, how she would talk when she does that. Another scenario might be, okay, I'm Mary Poppins and I need to go and do the grocery shopping. So I'm going to take Jane and Michael with me to the nearest supermarket, grocery store to get the shopping. How would Mary behave as she walks down the street and as she walks around the grocery store? You're going to have a little bit of a try of that in your front room now. For Bert, where might Bert be? Well, we know he's a chimney sweep. So perhaps you might do a little scene where you're chimney sweeping with your friends. How would you engage and talk with your friends? How would you act that out? And how do you become in your body the character of Bert? We can see here that this might be his dapper, smart outfit. We know they go to the horse racing. Maybe this looks like he might be in like a fairground situation. How would Bert walk around in either of those scenarios? What might interest him? What might he run over? How might he act if he's in the horse racing and his horse is winning? If it's losing? If it wins? If it loses? What would you say? How would you show in your body that you've become this person? So I'm going to set you a little bit of time now, just 5-10 minutes, to choose 1 or 2 scenarios for Mary, act them out, and 1 or 2 scenarios for Bert. You could even go and speak to your parents like it. What if you just left the room now as Mary Poppins and went and spoke to your mum or dad about what you have for dinner tonight? Would they notice a difference because you've become that character so much? All right, folks, I'm going to leave you a few moments just to have a go of that. Good luck! Okay, how did you get on there? That was like, what, 5 minutes that you had to have a little bit of a play around. I hope you had fun and that was enjoyable. Maybe you gave some parents or brothers and sisters a shock when you walked out as a different person. These are super important lessons to take with us as we add them into our song and dance, because we need to learn how to become those people. Excellent work today, team. Great job. Excellent work today at Upper Primary on our Mary Poppins extravaganza. It is now, of course, sadly, the end of our lesson. Well done for getting in from school and joining me. That's excellent that you're doing that. Thank you so much. It's just no fun without you, so you're kind of going to have to come and join me every day. Well, twice a week. So let's cool down with our old Feed the Birds tune. So we will start with our feet together and take a nice deep breath in. And let it all go. And again, breathe in. And we'll take this all the way down to the floor, trying not to bend the knees, and see how close we can get to touching the floor. To do our fingers a favour, let's bend them knees to see if we can get a bit further down. And as we straighten the legs, can you leave the hands there? Let's try that one more time. Bend the knees. And let's stretch. Alright team, let's bring this down to sitting today. We will start with our frog, which is of course the soles of the feet together, the knees flop out. We think about pulling ourselves up with our piece of string at the top of our head and stretching over. You can sway from side to side and sing with Mary if you want to. Alright, coming back up, let's stretch one leg in front and think again of that piece of string up and over the one leg. That's what she cries while overhead. Alright, let's bring it up and swap our legs. Other legs straight out in front. Piece of string up and over. Okay, and we'll take the legs out to second. Just as a recap, that is your legs are stretched out as far out as they can go, but the knees must remain up to the ceiling, and we keep our legs straight. We think about coming forward onto our sitting bones so we're not caving in. If you are caving in, you might need to bring your legs slightly further in. And we think about that piece of string on the top of our head. We take one arm up and we go over into our side stretch. Alright, let's go the other way, team. Take that arm up. Think of reaching up and over. Lovely. Okay, this time we're going to turn our shoulders and chest so that we're facing the leg. This time this is a different kind of stretch. Our last one was on the side. This one's going to go over on the leg rather. So lean and see if you can reach that foot. I don't know if anyone else has lost a bit of flexibility over the summer. We were getting really bendy, weren't we, towards the end then? But we need to keep practicing, don't we, to get it back. It's not, all is not lost to you, I promise. Let's stretch to the other side. Perfect, let's pancake, hands out in front. See if you can get your tummy to the floor. I guarantee I won't today, but we'll get there again, once again. So just breathe into that stretch. Oh, and bring it back in. Let's shake those legs in and give them a little bit of relief. And we'll come up to standing, so bring yourself onto your knees. Tuck those toes under, and we are going to do our stretch leg again, seeing if we can keep our hands on the floor. Off you go. Is that any easier this time? And take the feet out to second and have that stretch over. I'm just going to put that song on again. Right, that'll do. Stretching over. And slowly roll up, thinking about every bit of vertebrae stacking one on top of the other. Okay, we'll try a couple of standing stretches. So we're going to do our quad stretch. This is our quad here, the front of our thigh. We will grab the foot with our hand and put our heel to our bottom, keeping our knees together. You might want to find a wall to lean on for this, or you can put your arm out to the side to help with your balance. Woo! Lovely, let's go on the other side. Check that heels to that bottom and the knees are together. All right, let's take an arm across the chest and hook it in. And we'll go on the other side. And our final stretch of the day, arm up to the ceiling, flop at the elbow, catch it and pull it. Lovely, okay, other side, arm up, flop at the elbow, catch it and pull it. Oh, it's such a calming song, isn't it, after all that craziness? Okay, so let's end with our beautiful breaths. Deep breath in. And again, deep breath in. Let it all out. And we take our final breath in. Bring our hands to our heart space. And we say, well done for all of your hard work today in upper primary. See you next time.